howdy, partner. Don't mind me. I'm just out here digging up my internet history. There ain't no skeletons in these parts. For sure. And that's a guarantee. Hey guys. So, I think we're gonna have a talk about our internet history. You know, internet history. That was internet history. That was if you didn't catch it the first time. You know, I remember that in the past, when someone would ask to borrow my phone, it's like I would literally be like sweating profusely, right? Because you have this dilemma, which is that if you don't let someone borrow your phone, that's like literally 10 times as suspicious as if you just let them borrow it. But if they do borrow it, you're like sweating this whole time, hoping that they don't, find your secret folder, if you know what I mean. Now, obviously, I had some shameful things on my phone that I didn't want people to find out about. But now I know this is gonna sound like a weird flex, but like nowadays, okay, look, for like the past 6 months, okay, I could actually like hand someone my phone when they ask for it and have like a totally clear conscience and like not have to worry about what they might find on it. Now look, so this is all part of kind of like the clear conscience way of living that I've been trying to implement. And it starts with this idea. Look, I know it's a lot easier said than done, but just imagine, all right? It's like imagine that if you would do something on your phone that you wouldn't want people to find about, right? It's like just what if you just didn't do it? Okay, look, let me explain. All right, so I think this whole thing is like, okay, look. So first off, for the context, right? It's like, ever since I was like 10 years old, all the way until like 6 months ago, I was just like an internet porn addict, and I was basically addicted to porn for like my entire life. Not very good, by the way. And it's like, one thing I've realized is that if you keep all these skeletons like hidden in your closet, it's like they don't really go away. But the interesting thing is that you just bring it up. It's like you just bring it up, and the thing is, sunlight is truly the best disinfectant. And I think the interesting thing is that if you bring things up to the surface, right, it's like that is actually the time when you could actually deal with the problems. If the stuff is hidden away forever, like it actually never gets dealt with. And I think that's just the point of this video. It's like, whatever stuff is in my closet, we're going in deep. We're gonna dig it out of the bottom. We're gonna uncover all the skeletons. No stone left unturned. We're gonna tell all, good, the bad, the ugly. Because the goal is, we're here to get free. And what I found out is that when stuff comes up to the surface and is exposed to the sunlight, like that is the opportunity for people to get free. So, brother, that's the plan. We're getting free. There's nothing you can do about it. And we're going. Halt, citizen. You must evacuate these premises immediately. It is no longer safe for you to be here. Wait, what are you doing? But I first had to go back and clear my internet history. All right. So we're gonna do a little segment called Guess the Flash game. Doom. Frag out. Do-do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do. Pop, pop, pop. Pop, pop, pop. All right, so if you guys didn't catch that, the hint is World War II themed game where you're an American guy fighting the entire Japanese army. So the game is Commando 2. Now let's do another one. Boom. 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 Okay, what am I even doing? So that one was tanks. Tanks. Pop, 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 balloons, tower defense. All right, so you know why we're talking about Flash games? So Flash games were like my first interaction, my first foray into the internet. And you know, the whole thing just strikes me with like how wholesome the entire endeavor is. You know, it's just you and the boys, you and the crew gather around a library computer or gather around your friend's dad's laptop, and we're just playing Flash games together, single player games, double player games, triple player games, just enjoying each other's company, taking turns playing, watching each other play, etc. It's like we're just having some wholesome, family-friendly entertainment, and it just strikes me at how like wholesome and community building this whole thing is compared to like, you know, a more dark form of like forbidden entertainment. But you know, it's interesting that it's not really long after that, you know, it's like where you start hearing these whisperings on the playground of like a different side of the internet, like a darker side of the internet, a more forbidden side of the internet that involves naked women on the internet, if you know what I mean. Yeah, I guess I could just preface this with like how I think men in general, or at least like how I experience women, which is like you're literally like a 10-year-old kid on the playground just like playing with your friends, and then you see a woman and your heart is just like yeah, and you just have this overwhelming feeling of love and care for that woman, which you literally never talked into your life, which you literally never talked to in like your entire life. But the experience is that, or at least my experience is that if you go and try to talk to the woman, actually they just attempt to run away from you. And I guess it's almost like in like Lord of the Rings, right? There's this scene with Tom Bombadil and Goldberry, and it's like Tom Bombadil, it's like master of the force. It's like this is how I understand what men are. It's like men are like the default character that just like run around the world like doing things. It's like Tom Bombadil is like just running around the forest like doing this, doing that. It's like, hey guys, like boom boom boom, I am car mechanic, I fix car, or like beep boop beep boop beep boop, I am computer programmer, I program computers. You know, it's like Or, hey guys, hey mom, look at me, I'm on YouTube, I am YouTube maker. And yeah, I guess the way you understand women is that they are some kind of far off, majestic, like Goldberry-esque, like just flowing, magical elf creature that's kind of always out of reach, out of attainment. Yeah, so I guess when you do get rejected, it's like there's always this allure of that strange woman on the internet that's like I guess that comes like as an angel of light. You know, it's like, hey, look at me, like I'm so beautiful, like, oh, are you sad? Like, let me comfort you, like let me expose myself. Okay. What am I even doing? I will not be doing that again. But yeah, I guess that's where the allure comes from. It's like when you experience something like that, and especially if you don't have like a older brother or fatherly figure around to kind of guide you and explain to you like what you're feeling and what's happening and how to deal with it and all that stuff. And I guess what you do is you turn to what you think is the easiest or the simple solution to the emotions that you're feeling within your heart, which is pornography, I guess. Now, the thing about pornography and like why I think it's like a dark thing, even though like, you know, on the surface it's like, hey, like I'm a loving woman and I'm beautiful and I want to love you and I want to make you feel good, is that, you know, there's just a hiddenness about it, which is that it's like, if it were not a dark thing, then why would you try to hide it? Like, why would you like go through all these lengths to make sure that people don't know about it? It's like, of course you don't go announcing to the world that like you have sex with your wife, but I guess it's implied, and like if you have children, it's like, okay, everyone knows about it, but and it's not like a dark thing. It's not something that, it's not like, oh, you have to like hide your children so that like no one knows that you have sex with your wife. But the thing about pornography is that it's so hidden, and like why do people go through lengths to hide it if it's not a dark thing? I mean, it's like, imagine just going up to your group of friends and like telling everyone like, hey guys, I watch porn and wank 5 times a day. You know, it's like no one normal would do that, if you know what I mean. You know, I guess the other hint that this might be like, pornography might be like a dark thing, is that, you know, it's kind of, oh hey. Is that there's this problem of like a not satisfying you in a way, which is that when you take a look at something that is light, that is good, it's like you do this act, and if it is in a pure heart, if it is in pure kindness, then what this does is it actually fulfills you and fills you with light, and you are happy and joyful. But the problem is that when you do interact with pornography, like the promise is that happiness and joyfulness, but what you find is that it actually brings you down and brings condemnation on yourself, and you find that before and afterwards you do the act, you are no more satisfied than you were before. In fact, you're probably a lot worse off, to be honest. Yeah, and you know, I think there's also like a dark undertone to the whole thing about like revenge, I guess. Because honestly, like this might be all like psychosomatic and like in my own mind, but the way I think is like, okay, well, I guess since you rejected me and like my heart is hurt, so I'm gonna, I guess, like, okay, I don't need you actually, I'm just gonna give my attention to this women on the internet who I'll say, oh, well, she looks better than you anyways. And it's like, it's really weird because you actually don't love this random woman on the internet, but nonetheless, you do give her attention and money and like encourage her. Like, for instance, the more humiliating and degrading the actor herself, it's like the more you encourage her with your words and with your tips, and it's almost like this revenge thing playing out where you're like playing out your revenge on one woman on another woman by encouraging her to essentially destroy her life and reputation, and like you convince yourself that you feel good during this whole process. So you know, I think the whole participation in the system, it's like no one actually wins in the system, to be honest. I just want to bring back that, you know, that light part of the internet back, that you know, that innocent, just wholesome, loving joy that you and your friends have together compared to whatever darkness there is. I just know that it is possible, and that in the end, like darkness always loses to light. Yeah, and I guess whenever you just say the dark things out loud and expose them for what they truly are, I think it really is like a burden off your chest, off your shoulders. And I think this is like the time of healing. This is the time of making old things right, and hopefulness and looking forwards to the future. During the times where you're like super, I guess, high in the spirit, you almost like forget about the more, I guess, fleshy things, the more carnal things. And you start to think to yourself like, hey, actually, I don't think I need a woman at all. I think I could just like be by myself and be with God forever in this state. But I guess it's like in those times where you are feeling low, you long for some sort of partnership and companionship and someone to just comfort you and share troubles with. So yeah, I guess one of my goals is to get married, hopefully sooner than later. I feel like I'm getting pretty old at this point. So far, I have not been successful at getting a girlfriend. But yeah, it's really interesting how your emotions just, they could just change in an instant between like complete it's not really self-sufficiency. It's like complete sufficiency, just you and God in the spirit, and I guess moments of weakness where you're not able to see God when you're afraid. Yeah, and I guess it does bring it back to that whole Tom Bombadil and Goldberry thing, where Tom Bombadil is really just like a guy that goes around and does stuff, and that's really how I see myself and how I understand men. It's like they're just like guys that run around fixing cars, or run around programming computers, or run around like making paintings, run around like farming the ground. Like, you know, it's like we're just like default characters that just like go into the world and do stuff, and women being these like magical, majestic creatures where it's like, you know, it's like they just do something to your heart, and I guess, yeah, at least to me, they always seemed so far off and unattainable. There are literally times in my life where I'm like, okay, God, I think it is literally easier for you to make me like famous on YouTube, you know, in comparison to finding a wife for me. Like, I don't know. It seems weird to say out loud a thought like that, but that is really what does run through your mind at some points. But yeah, I don't know what the future holds, but what I do know is that there is a light path and there is a dark path, and I have seen so much good in just my short time walking in the light path. So I guess perhaps I should just keep faith in the light path then. And I guess I'll need faith to know that God will work out all things in the end for those who love him.